Anup Rej is a physicist, philosopher, poet, painter and sculptor, and a mystic. The existential questions, like why am I here? What is the meaning of being in life? What should one choose to do in life, and what values should guide one to act in order to achieve a meaningful goal? How to gain freedom from the dictates of the social rules and constraints which may enable one to make one's own journey, chosen by free will. How such freedom may be reconciled with the progress of the higher mind and evolution of humanity towards a greater culture and civilization. Is there any God? How God may manifest in the cosmos and our consciousness. In order to get answers, one needs a platform from where one may look at the world and oneself. It means one needs views, visions and values, which may be able to guide one on one's search for the answers. First of all, one needs views about the nature of the world. What is its origin of creation, and how does it continue to exist? Who is the person who is thinking and reflecting about the world? What is mind? What is the relation between the world outside and the world existing within oneself? Why does one seek to explore itself in the world and desires freedom? How does individual journey and exploration may lead to common goal and values of humanity? What does lead to the formation of a society which can bring individuals together and create a moral platform to act in the interests of all? How should individuals relate to each other? Is there any predestined order to which history should move? Or, are there many possibilities? Which path is more worthy of choosing? Which visions and values will guide us to choose? The approach of Anup Rej has been different from traditional religions. He emphasizes on the knowledge available to mankind at any particular stage of history. By experiencing the world as it is, and then making use of the knowledge, he starts to build the first ground on which he seeks to construct his views. Then, he takes the path of rational introspection and doubts, while analyzes the situation and conditions of the world and mind. Freedom is the main motive of his thoughts, which aims at exploring new realms of the world and the mind. In the next stage, he doubts the rational mind itself, and seeks to free the mind from the bondage of the rational thoughts. At this stage, the mind works in a meditative and contemplative level, which discards inputs from the perceptive world, and the knowledge accumulated by a conditioned mind. This higher nature of the mind remains beyond the scrutiny of knowledge and rational understandings. He relates to this higher mind through a process of inner dialogues. These dialogues have been central elements behind the formation of his views, visions and values. Through the interactions of the rational mind and the contemplative and meditative mind, he has come across arenas of thoughts and experiences of reality, which he could not access with the help of reason and knowledge. Through these dialogues he has understood the subtle working of the greater mind, which has different realities. through a process of doubting and seeking explanations, he has arrived at unknown territories of reality, where the higher mind has guided him to find a new way. This process has repeated again and again, and thus brought a synthesis of the both worlds. In the web pages, Views, Visions and Books, one will find his views about cosmos, God, mind and will, as well as the meaning of meaning and freedom. One will also encounter visions and values which have guided him to promulgate the ideas of an enlightened social order, which he believes may one day help us to bring a higher evolution of the human culture. Anup Rej possesses the view that the material universe has no beginning or end. It exists eternally, bearing a cosmic design, which appears similar in different scales. The tiniest object to the largest structures are all entangled with each other in an inseparable way. However, everything which exists renews itself through a cyclical process of birth, evolution, death and birth again. This process is similar on all scales, and maintained through a mechanism which involves ejections and accretions of matter, which weave knots inside knots. The construction of the universe is based on a fractal template, which is immensely complex. The way complexities are woven together to create an eternal design in all scales hints to the existence of a cosmic mind, which we may never comprehend. Everything in the universe moves and changes in order to find their assigned places in the design of the universe. Things form, reform, one joins with others, one breaks apart from others, and changes place from one knot to another in a continuous movement. The force which drives this process is the cosmic mind. More complex structures, like living organisms, experience and relate to each other. This we see as the activities of life. In the arena of life one observes conscious movements directed towards a purpose. The primary purpose is to sustain one's existence by seeking support from other existences, while at the same time providing support to others who desire to live. All life forms are complexly entangled with each other, which reflects the design of the whole, through the movements of life, evolution, death and life again. This motive to exist, and let others exist, necessitates every individual life to make choices. The realm, where different choices decide the course of the evolution, becomes the arena of competition and collaboration through which higher evolution may take place. His views about mind and will is based on the idea of consciousness, which impregnates all existence. This consciousness emerges as a phenomenon we call mind. It takes different forms depending on the level of complexity of the life through which mind becomes manifest. The mind, which emerges as phenomenon conditioned by the physical needs of survival, constitutes only one aspect of consciousness. Beyond it, with higher evolution, mind develops the ability to negate the given material condition and project possible new imagined conditions of reality. Thus mind can dream about higher forms of existence, and conceive relations of things, which may create new platforms for acting and doing, and ordering the conditions around. Reason and contemplation appear at this higher level. So mind is multidimensional, which projects different realities associated with varied realms of experiences. In the realm where these realities encompass the experiences of the evolved mind, different categories of will appear. The will provides motivation and power to choose one's way to make the journey of life. The will can be put in categories like will to live, will to power, will to justice, will to compassion and love, and will to know God, for example. The power of the will, and the choice of one category of will over the other, decides the path of evolution of one's life. His ideas of meaning and freedom may be summarized as follows. Different individuals choose different paths, and activate their will in order to achieve different goals one may have set. This choice of goal, and achieving success in reaching it, may bring meaning to an individual life. Various paths in search of meaning led to competition for asserting one's values and visions over others. Culture, which develops around a group of people who share common visions and values, may come in conflicts with other groups who belong to other cultures. These conflicts lead to the formation of societies, under the control of institutions, which seek to guarantee the security and protection of the values and visions shared by the group. Thus, societies become an assembly of institutions, built around a set of values and visions, which may bring meaning of life to its members. They may include religious, moral, or social institutions, which aspires to implement justice which follows a particular concept of what is right and wrong. This morality often springs from a few religious and political leaders, who control the institutions. Competition and collaboration among these societies create conditions of evolution of a higher social form, which finally encompasses aspirations of all of mankind. In the web page link given below one will find books, lectures and dialogues about cosmos, God, life and evolution, will, and mind and visions and values. After Anup Rej lost his only son in 1990, he embarked on a journey through philosophy, mythology, poetry, art and music, cosmos and the spiritual realm. He made this inner journey through different realms of the mind, in the company of the inner being, with whom he had been conducting dialogues since he encountered the inner being in 1966. The journey starts in the realm of the human beings, whose life is driven by the needs and necessities of survival, reproduction, and social-political competitiveness for power and wealth. To find beauty and love in life are main motives of this journey. Then the journey passes through the realm of the artists, musician, and the poets, where dream and myth form an inseparable part of reality. The experiences of this journey, in every realm which he enters, is felt as journey through suffering. In order to avoid the suffering world, he seeks escape in the realm of the philosophers. When the journey along the philosopher's path proves equally painful, he decides to make a journey in the cosmos, with the hope he may find his desired world, outside the earthly sphere. Here in the cosmic vista, he realizes the meaning of life and death, and returns to experience the meaning of life in love. After returning to earth, he moves towards the mountain path, in search of an enlightened way. By making this journey, he realizes that the journey of the individual life is a part of the journey of the universal being, Tathagata, who comes and goes life after life. All who have lived before, existing now, and will appear in the future are parts of Tathagata, who appears in the world in flesh and blood. However, he has different existence beyond flesh and blood as well. In the transcendental realm he has no bodily form. He is unborn and unperceptible, whom one can experience only in the meditative state of the mind. The interactions between the life-bound insentient world and the transcendental state takes place through the meditation of the guide of the soul, who is the poet guiding the mortal beings, who is making the journey of life in flesh and blood. It is an epic, written in verse. It is a story of all of humanity, who is not confined to any particular race, culture, history, or time. It is a journey of the universal being, through a multidimensional reality, created by the projections of different realms of consciousness, which embrace human life. All individual life constitute the journey of Tathagata, who is moving in different directions in an animated world, where different realms are crisscrossing each other. Like the images reflected in multiple moving mirrors, one sees oneself as a part of Tathagata, moving through all realms of consciousness. Images of all is the true image of Tathagata. The main purpose of the book is to elucidate this concept of Tathagata, of who we are all parts. The book seeks to guide individual life to find the path where he, or she, may encounter one's transcendental nature. This is what Anup Rej calls a journey towards enlightenment, where human beings may find meaning of life. Apart from the printed version, an audio version of the book with music also exists. Anup Rej has himself illustrated the book. The web pages will introduce the visitors with the printed and the audio-visual books, Tathagata's Journey, a divine comedy of modern time. Since childhood, Anup Rej experienced the presence of an inner world, which appeared in the form of poetic words, artworks, music and songs. These creative activities did not arise from the thinking mind, which generates ideas, and activates will to perform acts, following premeditated plans. Instead, They rose from the nebulous realm of the mind, as surprises to the thinking and willing mind, and carried the messages from a spiritual world. Through these activities, he has discovered the inner nature of himself, as a part of a greater mind, which lies hidden from the conscious world. Since early years of his childhood, he has been writing poems, and creating drawings, paintings and sculptures. In older age, he has also written songs, and composed music, which have opened newer vistas of self-realization, and an encounter with a greater mind. His poetic activities culminated in creating the epic called Journey of Tathagata, which arose in a similar process where conscious thinking mind played a lesser role. The writing had developed without a plan and interference of the intellectual mind. It was a journey within oneself, in the company of a divine poet. The other big poetic work is Manas, Kobi, O Ishwar, which means man, poet and God, is a poetic drama written in Bangla language. Apart from these two big works, he has written many small poems. These small poems, written in Bangla, during 1981-1989, are collected as a book of Alakobita, which means Poems of Light. His activities in arts have passed through different phases. As a child, he began with abstraction and non-figurative arts, which had little association with the elements of perceived reality. Most of his earlier artworks, done in watercolors, revolve around a surreal realm, belonging to the unconscious mind. He began with figurative arts after he started his epic journey in the inner world after 1990. At this period, he entered a realm of arts, where dream, myth, and reality interpenetrated each other, and formed an extra-perceptual reality of the mind. At that time, he painted in oil colors in big canvas. His main work during this period is a big exhibition, which he called Art Without Beginning and End, moving through life, death, and resurrection. In later years, he created another series, called the Windows of Light, where mythology and cosmos took a special art form, which rose from the nebulous world of the inner mind. He has created sculptures too. In recent years, he has made sculptures in stones, related to the themes of cosmos, meditation, mythology, and spiritual symbols from different cultures. The songs he has written in Bangla are collected as Songs of Light, which mostly deal with the theme of cosmos and cosmic mind. His interests in music surfaced when his son, Anup, started composing classical music as a child. During the later years of 1980s, he has experimented with the idea of the visual method of composition, and composed some pieces of music with the help of digital instruments and computer softwares. These music pieces, called Music of Light, are used as background music for the videos he has made for his web pages. For more about poems, artworks, music, and songs, visit the website address given in this page. For Anup Rej, enlightenment is reason and spirituality existing together. It brings a synthesis of the forces, which demands submission to the reasoning mind, with a higher spiritual world, which one can experience in the state of contemplation and meditation. It is a path along which the higher mind, which we all share, may guide the reasoning mind, which observes and analyzes the conditions of the world, and control and harness the different aspects of the will, residing in us. It is a path of progressive transcendence towards a higher evolution of the mind. Enlightened order is a social order, which may guide the development of the human mind towards a higher state. It can be achieved by realizing the presence of the higher power in oneself, which is beyond reason and the understanding of the world through the senses. At every stage of history, knowledge of science, and experiences of spirituality, passed to mankind through ages, should act as the primary ground for actions and choices in bringing social development. However, doubt and reason should remain as the vital forces through which the old knowledge and experiences may renew and evolve. Moreover, the reasoning mind is a reflection of the world known, experienced and organized by ideas and thoughts at a particular state of evolution. Reason itself is no end goal, because it is in a state of constant progress and evolution. The greater way is the way one may explore life by submitting oneself to the power of the higher mind. The power of this greater mind may be accessed through creative activities. So the enlightened order is an idea of creating a social arena of creativity, through which mind may unfold, and open unknown dimensions of living. Such social order is based on freedom of realizing oneself by pursuing knowledge, reason and creative and spiritual path. It will inspire people to develop views, visions and values which may bind humanity together, and establish harmonious relations of the society with the living world and the nature around, while providing individuals with the possibility of development of one's greater nature. The enlightened social order will open up ways of progress of all. The understanding of the self, as part of the whole, who shares the same power of the great mind with all others, is crucial in building the idea of the social and economic justice. Sharing, love and compassion will constitute the moral foundation of social behavior in an enlightened world. Enlightened society is a society guided by people and institutions who share enlightened insights about the nature of the cosmos, God, life, mind and consciousness, meaning and freedom of living, and wish to protect and secure the harmony and unity in the living world. The enlightened insight must include ideas of economic and social justice, which have universal acceptance among all. By restraining the will of the ignorant and less developed mind, and creating opportunities of knowledge of the higher mind, the social and political leaders of the enlightened society will include all in the process of the development. In such enlightened democracy, the leaders will be required to bear views, visions, and values which are healthy for creating peace and harmony, as well as opportunities of freedom for all. Instead of allowing greed and competitions to win dominance over worldly resources, which may hold the majority in the hands of a handful of exploiters, enlightened society is a vision of the higher man, who will teach human beings the meaning of life in love and sacrifice. It is a call for building a human civilization of harmony and peace, by using the power of the higher mind. Given the conditions of the world, as they exist now, how one may start building such a society? The web pages, whose links are given below, will lead the visitors to think about the challenges. Anup Rej and his wife Roberta established a foundation in the memory of their son Anup in 1991. Since then, the foundation supports creative activities of talented children and youth, in the fields of arts, music, and writing among others. They have also built a culture garden in Juvik, which lies by Sognefjord in the western part of Norway. The idea of the garden is to create a cultural space, which will be able to stimulate creative activities of children, who wish to explore greater dimension of the creative mind. It is a garden of poetry, music, arts, and much more. As a part of Tathagata, of whom all human beings are parts, individuals may make their journeys in the realms of philosophy, mythology, cosmos and spirituality as well. Here the inner world and the outer world meet, knowledge and ideas encounter realms, which exist beyond knowledge and ideas. During the last few years, Anup Rej and Roberta have been arranging events called Planting Creativity and Dream, with the aim of stimulating creativity and inspiring children and youth to pursue their dreams. In their views, the path of creativity may open visions and values, which can help to build a foundation of an enlightened society. In the web page, one will find information about the Foundation for Talented Children, and the ideas behind the Culture Garden, as well as the vision of an enlightened society.